Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACGL recap. Today, I am joined by one of the Bravado Gaming Rocket League players, I believe the team captain, HappyMeal. HappyMeal, how are you doing today, good sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Yourself, thank you.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. So for those people that may not know you, I think this is the perfect time for you to just sort of introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. My name is David, or HappyMeal. I am currently the captain of the Bravado Rocket League team. Yeah, I've been playing Rocket League since like 2017.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I've started playing it pretty seriously in 2018. And yeah, now I play for Bravado.
Yeah, happy to hear that. And speaking of Bravado, right? So the Bravado Rocket League roster, you guys got picked up last year, around beginning of November, right? And 8 months later, the achievements and the accolades you guys already have under your belt is nothing short of amazing and astonishing. I just want to know, how did you guys just instantly flip a switch and just become one of the best teams around? Because looking at your track record, I mean, you guys, it wasn't like you weren't like the best at the time. You were getting there. You were hitting third and fourth. I mean, at some point you were even second in one of the RLCS series, but instantly as you joined Bravado, it's like everything just changed and you guys just went on a different level. Just walk me through like how things have been ever since you guys have joined Bravado.
Well, it's a good question. It's a bit complex, but I think it's important to state that all three of us as players, before we were together as a team, we were all very good players, and I'd say perhaps even the best players in our team at the time. So when we came together, we were three of the best players in our previous teams put together into like a new team. So you call us maybe like a super team. That's obviously that's a bit subjective. You can say what you want. Yeah, so I think the Bravado pickup also really just motivated us even further. I think being independent is great, and it shows that like there's nothing wrong with being independent, but having an organization back you, I think there's a lot of motivation behind that. I also think that the three of us as a team, we know the potential of this roster, and we've been working really, really hard. With I think that would have happened with or without Bravado. If we were picked up by another organization, we would have worked as hard, I think, and we would have been as good in the same position. So I'm not saying the org didn't help us. It definitely did. Motivation, the support is definitely there. Also, I think just having like like Bravado's reach is like quite deep in the South African scene. Having that behind us is really cool, and I think it provides us with a bit of an edge because it gives us like more recognition for playing the Rocket League. But I think with or without them, we would have been as good as we are now.
I get you, definitely. And yeah, I feel that especially from a player's perspective, having someone or having an organization behind you that backs you and is constantly supporting you kind of does give you that extra boost and drive to just constantly improve and try to do better. But moving on, you guys have qualified for Worlds in Dallas, and I believe I'm speaking to you right now. You're in America. But I just want to know, what is the feeling when you guys knew about that, that fact, or that realized you guys are going to be attending the Rocket League World Championships? How is that feeling as a team, and even from your perspective as a player?
So, I guess it's two ways you can answer the question. The first one is, obviously, when you find out there was a wildcard spot for the South African region, that was pretty amazing. And knowing that we came together as a team to do the best we can, I think that was our goal from the beginning, is to make wildcard. And we were like pretty set to do so. There were some unfortunate like bracket issues in the first split of the RLCS, but we still knew that we had a very, very good chance of making it. But up until we actually qualified, I mean, it was pretty stressful. That it's great that you asked me that, but with that regional that we qualified, we actually won that regional. We actually came first, and to do that, all we needed to do was place higher than 80k in that regional, and we would have qualified. And that's all I was aiming for. Like, winning is obviously great, and I always want to win every regional, but just qualifying was what I needed to do, what I wanted to do. And as soon as I did, it was like a huge weight was relieved off my shoulders, because when you're playing for points, when you're playing for like a qualifying spot, it's like completely different than playing for like the win in a tournament. There's a lot more pressure, because it's easy to make more mistakes and to think about stuff like that. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was the biggest focus of the team, like that specifically beating 80k or having enough points for that regional, but all the casters talking about, if you go watch that regional now, you'll just hear all they speak about is the fact that on the line here is the wildcard spot for both 80k and us. Every matchup, like, oh, if 80k loses this matchup, they might not go make the wildcard. If they do win it, they might make it. It was just that's all they were speaking about. So it was really like there's a lot of pressure on both teams, but I guess we came through, and we ended up winning the entire regional, which put us so far ahead that we automatically qualified.
Beautiful stuff. I really love to hear it, and you guys really did play your hearts out, and well deserving of what you've achieved so far. And for you guys to actually now finally be in Worlds is, I mean, I'm sure you guys are all well stoked about that. But speaking of all that pressure and that expectation of trying to get to Worlds, what's it like being in high intensity games and tournaments as a player, especially against opponents or being in extremely close games with a lot on the line? Like, what's your mental state at that point in time?
It's a good question. I don't really think about it too much, but it's like when I'm playing, at least it's sometimes I don't even know what's going on. They call it the flow state or the zone, whatever you want to call it, and it's not every time I play I enter that state, but oftentimes I'm entering into that state, or very close to it, and it's not even as if I'm completely conscious when I'm playing. It's just like months of preparation or weeks of preparation coming together to allow me to play at that level. And when every game, every goal, every save matters, it's really intense. The most recent regional that we won, the last one, we won the upper bracket. So we need to be bracket reset in order to lose the tournament, and Pirates did that. They bracket reset in the game 7, and then the next series, best of 7, also went to game 7. We ended up winning the series and winning the whole tournament, but that was some of the most intense Rocket. We played 14 games, and I came out of it, and I was exhausted. Like I was exhausted. 14 games, some of those games being more than 10 minutes long. Like it's super intense. There's no downtime as well. You make one mistake, you lose concentration for half a second, 2 seconds, 1 second, and it could be a goal. It could be I don't want to say Rocket League is one of the most intense esports, but I definitely think it is, because there's no downtime. If you look at CS:GO or Dota, even though they're really intense when like it's a very heated moment, there's a lot of downtime. If you die or if you recoil in Dota, there's a lot of you're waiting, you're back at base, you got to go back to the fight. CS:GO, there's time between rounds. If you die, you're still watching your teammates. In Rocket League, there's nothing. You're always playing all the time, and yeah, it's really intense. Like the good example is I once I played a tournament, or one of the RLCS regionals at my friend's house, due to load shedding, so I had to move over to his place, and I came out of there and I felt like I ran 5 kilometers. That's how intense it was for me. Like I was super sweaty. It's really intense, but at the time you don't feel it. You don't feel it when you're playing. If you're well prepared, and if you've been doing it for a long time, which I have, you don't feel it you don't feel it in the games. You only feel it afterwards. So I would say it's really intense, but it's not something that you can't handle. At least not something I can handle. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, when you speak on that as well, when you speak on those 14 games that you played, some people don't understand that you also had to go into overtime in some of those games, and it's really intense, even just as a spectator watching all of that unfold, because as you mentioned, there's no downtime. It's just quick intensity. You have to keep going throughout. There's no 10-second pause or maybe a 1-minute timeout. It's just throughout you have to just stay focused, and just a split second that could make the biggest difference. So, you know, just seeing all of that and how you guys keep under that pressure and still are able to perform as well as you do is just, honestly, it's astonishing from a spectator's view. So honestly, I just give my kudos to all of you. But yeah, that's just gonna be most of what I have for today. I just want to say, do you have any final words for any of the people that are watching right now, any Rocket League players that are possibly striving to get to where you are at the moment?
Just keep working. I think, like, there's a lot of players who have this misunderstanding that they need an opportunity or they need to be like, you know, they need to be gifted some sort of position on team. But I think in a competitive environment, you know, with enough work, with enough like showcase of your own talent somewhere along the line, even if you're in like a relatively bad team for what your skill is, because I find that's a big problem with a lot of players, is that they think they're a lot better than they are, or they think that they're so good but they haven't got the opportunity that they need. I think that that's a poor mentality, firstly, but at the same time, I think if you're good enough, a team will recognize you. And I just think you gotta put the work in. You know, I mean, I play this game all the time, and I'm always working towards being better. And yeah, I think that's it. Also, I think you got to decide like what you want. You got to take it seriously. There's very few players who can decide to take this game like not so seriously and be the best at it. That's not a very common occurrence. So yeah, I think first decide if you want to play the game seriously, and then just go for it. Just put all the hours you can into it, and yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, well said. Honestly, it's just always put in that work and you'll reap your rewards. But honestly, from my side, that has been going to be it. All I want to say is good luck to you and the guys. Hope you guys do us proud, and I believe you guys are going to do exceptionally well. But once again, thank you so much for coming down and having this chat with me. It really means a lot. HappyMeal. Cheers, my dude. Have a good one. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers.